Welcome to 5678, a movie musical podcast, where two best friends, separated by geography but united in their love for musical theater, review and recap movie musicals. Each episode we will dissect a new movie musical, ranging from the 1930s all the way up to today, all the while giggling, snorting, and generally being absolute dunces. So powder those noses and tape down those boobs. We're about to start rolling.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Maria.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My
Of the music of
All right. Here we are. I'm so excited to do this. First things first. Welcome to 5678, a movie musical podcast. We are your chaotic co-hosts. I am Anna.
I am Grace.
And this is the podcast where we review and recap movie musicals.
Woohoo!
Some that we have seen before, many of which Anna has not seen, including this one.
And some that Grace has been in. I was in this musical. So,
Are you
by the
really?
way, we should start by saying, this week we are doing Guys and Dolls.
The 1955 film.
Yes. So a little bit about my background with this particular musical. This was one of the scripts that my grandfather sent me when I was like 8. So when I was 8, my grandfather sent me a box full of his old musical scripts because he kept them. And I grew up reading sort of a bunch of old classics. So this was one of them. And then when I was like somewhere in middle school, anywhere between like, I'm going to say 11 and 14, I don't remember exactly when, I was in a really shitty children's production of Guys and Dolls. Now, Anna, I'm going to have you guess something. There were only 2 boys in the entire cast, so of course they were Sky and Nathan. And I was not one of the main 2 girls. So literally every other character is available. Who do you think I
Were
played?
you a male or female character?
I was a male character.
You were. Oh boy. Were you Big Julie?
So close, but no.
Damn it.
I was Harry the horse.
Oh, good. As opposed to Grace, I have never seen this movie. I have seen this musical exactly once. It was a high school production at LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only seen, like, Guys and Dolls Jr., I think.
I'm pretty sure that's what I was into.
Yeah, as I was watching this, I was like, I don't remember that, or any of that. So...
Junior productions of musicals have always been so fascinating to me.
And this?
Yeah.
This was the choice? Alright.
That would be like Assassins Junior.
Bloody Andrew Jackson, Jr. This 1955 film is available for free, actually, a couple places. It's available on Amazon Prime and YouTube. I was not prepared for the casting. I meant to look up how old Frank Sinatra was when he did this.
Oh, I don't know, but he definitely looks a little bit more aged.
He is wizened. And he is so small.
Mm-hmm.
He's a small man. He's a slender man.
He's a tiny person. I haven't weighed 125 since I was like 14.
Yeah, but people were tiny back then. And he also, they had him in this like black and white striped like Jack Skellington looking suit.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer film, so we got a lovely lion roar. And we open on what is supposed to be like seedy Times Square.
But like a stage version.
I loved this because it was so heightened from the get-go.
Yeah.
It was a choice. The acting feels very much like they just put a camera in front of a musical theater performance.
Yes.
Really, this first part, the choreography and the acting is so over the top that, like, if I was in a theater, I could see this from the very back row, but the 5 feet across my living room felt very big.
Well, and it's interesting because the director very much decided to not embrace realism. So this feels very much like a heightened piece.
Oh, it was great.
It was awesome. So much happens in this opening with no words, and it's just a bunch of, like, setting the scene for New York. So tourists are getting hustled, buskers are chased off by the police, guy buys racing results and places bets without cops seeing, and then a pickpocket gets arrested. Like, a lot happens.
A lot.
It is no words, it's all visual, but it really sets the scene for this version of New York.
Yes, and we are really beaten over the head with the idea that gambling is bad. And
or at least illegal.
We're going to carry that with us for this entire film.
Oh, yes.
The first lyrics we get in this song are three guys with overlapping lyrics, same melody, but just talking about, like, the horses that they're going to bet on. Like, I got the horse right here. And then, it's the time for the horse race. So they check their watches and they walk away.
Yes, these three guys are Nicely, Benny, and Rusty. Now, Rusty doesn't really matter, but Nicely, and Benny are characters that will come back.
We next see the members of the Save a Soul mission in bright red. They look like marching band costumes. I know they're
They
not.
really do, but without, like, tassels.
There's a couple people. There's a young woman and an older man with a drum. And they're singing outside of a bar. Or no, she's giving a speech.
Yeah.
Asking for the sinners to repent and come to the mission and stop drinking and gambling. And this old guy comes out of this bar, sees her talking, and walks back in.
I know, she fully calls him out, too. She's like, before you take another swallow, and then he just immediately turns back around and goes back in the bar.
This woman's name is Sarah Brown. And while she is pontificating, this gold watch salesman comes out of nowhere, sets up shop in front of her, and just fully talks over her. And he's charging $1 for a quote-unquote solid gold watch.
And there's, like, a compass. Yeah, it's weird.
She tries to talk over him, but he will not relent, and she tells the mission people to pack up. They're going to move on to a different street corner.
They had a very funny line, though, where, she's trying to talk over this guy, and he just keeps really talking louder, and at one point he's like, don't push, there's room for everyone, and then she sort of says super sadly, there's room for everyone in the kingdom of heaven, too.
But the guy with the drum, his name is Uncle Arvide, and he tells her, like, hey, at least people stayed through half of your speech this time.
So then we cut to Harry the Horse.
A.k.a. Grace's starring role.
Oh, man. So he's coming out of a barbershop, and he hears his name called and, like, just sort of, tries to hide his face. But it turns out that it's Benny and Nicely.
And they are all gamblers. And I want to take 2 seconds to just, like, imagine what you think of with a 1940s, 50s gambler. Like, that's what it is. Just, like, fedoras and pinstripe suits.
I mean, this is just a movie about gangsters.
Yeah,
and
so
I couldn't be happier. So many gangsters.
Well, actually, I want you to know, I kept writing gangsters and then correcting it to be gamblers.
Some of them are gangsters, and that's Big Julie.
Yeah, and they make a point that they're like, we're not gangsters. That guy's worse. He's an actual gangster. We're just simple gamblers. So... You're right. Nicely and Benny come up to Harry the Horse, and Harry asks them if they've heard from Nathan Detroit about where he's going to host his crap game.
Because he has money that he's looking to spend. Apparently there's a lot of high rollers in town right now. So they tell him they'll figure it out and let him know. Nicely and Benny enter the barbershop, and they're talking about the craps game, and enter the police. Lieutenant Brannigan.
Just like imagine a bad, mean cop in a gray suit, and that's what you're going to get. And he asks if they've seen Nathan Detroit, and they're like, no. We get this lovely exposition of what a floating crap game is.
I thought it was great. It was so fun and just ridiculous that they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what floating means, audience.
It's revealed that Nicely and Benny work for Nathan. And Brannigan gives them a message for Nathan that everyone knows Brannigan is putting on the heat on Nathan, and that's why no one knows the location of the game, because Nathan keeps having to find somewhere to host a game because he keeps getting shut down by the police. So out the door Brannigan goes, and in comes Frank Sinatra as Nathan Detroit.
They come up to Nathan, and try to give him the message, but he said that he's already heard it. Nathan says that he found a place, Joey Biltmore's garage, who will do the game, but only if they pay Joey $1,000 in cash in advance. Then we get a little bit of exposition about what a marker is, which is basically just an IOU that you can't take
No
back.
take-backsies.
No take-backsies. Benny and Nicely says he has to think of something, and he says, my one thought costs $1,000. I cannot afford to think.
Yeah, Nathan has no money, and he doesn't even have any money to buy his fiancée, Adelaide, a 14-year engagement present.
Oof.
This is where we learn about Adelaide, and she and Nathan have been engaged for 14 years.
Yes.
And then we get the lovely song, The Oldest Established, parenthetical, Permanent Floating Crap Game in New York. I loved this song.
I love a male chorus, man, and this whole movie is just male choruses.
This scene takes place in a barber shop, so all the male chorus members are either barbers or like men actively being shaved and have like shaving cream on their face.
And basically the whole point of this song is just Nathan's been running this game forever. It's really famous and popular, and everyone sort of trusts him to make it work.
He resolves to have the crap game float again. We move out onto the street, and a random guy comes up to Nathan and tells him, hey, guess who's in town? Sky Masterson is in town. And they all go,
Big shock.
Sky Masterson has a reputation. He bets big. He loves to gamble. He's the highest player of them all.
And they talk about a few of his crazy bets. Like, he bet someone, like, which raindrop would fall down fastest. Like, literal insane things.
In this moment, very not relevant to the plot at all, but this happened a couple times. Did you catch this? There is the weirdest gag of someone taking a cigarette out of someone's mouth and then putting it in their own, but putting the other end of it in there. Like, if it was
that
a
happens
lit
all the goddamn time.
What?
It's so bizarre.
I mean,
my question is, before cigarettes had filters on them, because that's what the brown bit at the bottom is the filter. Before they had filters, could you light them up from either end?
well, I don't care if it was in someone's mouth and they were smoking it. And then you take it and you put the lit end in your mouth.
I never thought that they were actually lit when they put the other end in their mouth. I thought that it was like an...
There's a lot of miming in this film.
Yes, that's very
I
true.
assumed that they were lit. I don't know. Maybe they weren't intentionally lit. Anyway.
It was all very confusing. So Nathan makes the decision that he is going to bet Sky on something and try to get the $1,000 out of him that way.
Yeah.
So they go into...
Minnie's Diner.
I thought it was Mindy.
I don't care.
Who cares? And they go to the chef and they find out how much cheesecake and how much strudel has been sold the day before. So that he can sort of fix this bet.
Yeah. Nicely and Benny go into the kitchen to find this out, and while Nathan is distracted watching after them, who walks by? Adelaide's there. Surprise! And she comes up behind him and she like covers his eyes with her hands, and he assumes she's Brannigan.
Because you know how he and Brannigan just tease each other by putting their eyes on each other's... Yeah.
Where are you putting your eyes, Grace? Yeah, he's like, Brannigan, leave me alone. And she's like, how could you think I was Brannigan? We don't even use the same perfume.
I love Adelaide. She's my favorite character, hands down. She's hysterical. So she talks about how she dreams about him being a legitimate businessman, and it's revealed that she has a chronic cold. And she gives him an anniversary gift, and it's business cards that say Nathan Detroit General Manager. And he's like, of what? And she's like, of whatever you want.
She's trying to manifest him leaving the gambling business.
Because he has told her that he has stopped his floating crap game. She is under the impression that he no longer runs it.
Just then, Nicely and Benny come back out with the strudel cheesecake statistics.
And Adelaide is like, why do you need to know this? And he's like, these are statistics that businessmen need at their fingertips. And then Harry the horse comes over and it's like, any news? And he's like, I'll let you know. She's like, what's that about? He's like, he's having a baby. And it's like, why did he ask you? It's like, he's nervous. It's his first wife. Like, none of it makes sense. It's just all very funny.
Oh, I loved it.
So Nathan tells Adelaide that he has a business meeting and she should go to rehearsal. And so he sends Benny and Nicely to take her to rehearsal.
At the hot box.
The Hot Box.
Nathan has been eyeing this mystery man across the diner, and the mystery man stands up, walks to leave. Nathan, like, moves to another booth and, like, acts very casual, and then he looks up and goes, "Oh, Sky Masterson. Like a fancy meeting you here." And Sky comes over and sits down.
And it's Marlon Brando. Oh, peak Marlon Brando. He's so fun to look at. Him in a suit, just...
I enjoyed it. I don't think I've ever seen a Marlon Brando movie. Like, I know Marlon Brando's hot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Was Streetcar Named Desire in black and white?
Yes.
That's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen Marlon Brando in color. Dear listener, I'm sure you think I live under a rock. I don't.
My first time seeing him was in, obviously, Guys and Dolls, but then he was Mark Antony in Julius Caesar. And that was great. Like, the Shakespeare filmed production.
I know Julius Caesar is the Shakespeare play.
Okay, there's been several things with Julius Shakespeare. Julius Shakespeare.
Oh, we're doing so well.
Oh, this is, oh no. Okay.
All right.
Marlon Brando in a suit.
Yeah, Marlon Brando comes over and he tells, his name is Sky. Sky tells Nathan that he's only in town tonight. He's going to Havana tomorrow. And Nathan keeps trying to get him to eat the cheesecake and hopes that giving him, like, a piece of this cheesecake will make him, like, wonder about cheesecake statistics and, like, be willing to take the bet.
So, when I eat things, like when I eat a plate of nachos, I constantly wonder about the statistics of the ratio of cheese to chips.
Honestly, that feels like an argument we would have. But Sky doesn't want to bet about cheesecake statistics.
So Nathan keeps shoving this idea of, like, cheesecake and strudel down his throat, and, Sky is just sort of not taking the bait until eventually he's just like, "Do you bet that more cheesecake or strudel were sold?" Like, out of nowhere. And Sky's obviously not taking the bait, but just sort of talks through this story that his dad told him about not taking bets that are obviously set up. Then Benny and Nicely come back and tell him Adelaide wants him to pick her up after her show, and Sky basically says that Nathan is whipped.
I'm trying to think, like, Nathan asks Sky about why he's going to Havana alone. Why isn't he taking a girl?
Well, because they talk about dolls.
Sky says a doll is a doll.
Yeah, they're interchangeable, and that's when Nathan gets the idea.
Nathan bets Sky that Nathan can pick a doll.
Any doll.
A woman. Any woman. And Sky won't be able to take her to Havana. And Sky, being the swaggermonger that he is like, I can take any woman. I made that up just now.
I enjoyed it a lot, and it made a lot of sense.
And just then, the Save a Soul mission walks by.
We start hearing the music in the background.
Yeah. You know what tune I almost just sang? Do you hear the people sing?
Oh, no.
This is not Les Mis.
No.
Yeah, just then the Save a Soul mission walks by, and Nathan points to Sarah Brown.
I choose her. This was my first moment of joy. Was Sky's face right after Nathan points out Sarah. Just the look of mingled disgust and shock and horror was just, beautiful.
Cut to inside the mission. Sarah is there. She's thinking about resigning because she just can't get the job done. She's not able to get any sinners. Sky sneaks in. He's like, "Hey, do you take sinners here?"
So he says he's a sinner and gambling and he's good at it, and they were both sort of like, "Oh, we've never had a sinner that's successful come in here before."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I guess it's only for the unhappy poor." And she was like, No, it's just weird. And he was like, "Well, the unhappiness came suddenly. I'm sure it'll go away again." They were like, and Arvide has the funniest line of like, "We'll keep you unhappy. Sit down." So he tells her that he got into gambling by evil companions who tricked him into a sucker's bet, and Arvide ends up leaving him alone with Sarah, and we get the attempted seduction.
Oh, man.
I love every scene that it's just the two of them. I thought their chemistry was great.
Flawless. Fantastic.
This is like almost direct from the script, too.
Yeah,
You can tell that it was just like copy, paste.
This was the first moment where I wrote, there are so many fucking lines in this movie.
I know. So she tries to get him to read pamphlets or go to a prayer meeting on Thursday, and he sort of keeps encroaching on her space, sort of using his physicality to sort of distract her.
Yeah, and she says she doesn't trust him, doesn't believe he actually wants to repent. But as she's saying this, she like goes over to the complimentary coffee and donuts and like gets very flustered. And like honestly, if Marlon Brando looked at me like that, like I'd be a flustered donut too.
I am a flustered donut just watching it. It's great. So she says that you seem like the biggest sinner I've ever seen, and he says that she's super repressed and that he's going to start his own mission. Come all ye repenters and let us bring a little sin into your life. And I was like, yes, please.
Sky eventually tells her that if he can get 12 genuine sinners for her midnight prayer meeting, whether they want to repent is not his job, but he'll get them to her prayer meeting. If he can do that, she will have dinner with him tomorrow night. Doesn't specify where at first.
Well, and she's sort of like possibly into this bargain. And he, by the way, writes it on the back of a scripture quote so that she can't rip it up.
Yeah, it's his marker. It's his IOU.
She's about to say yes until he reveals that the dinner is in Cuba. And she says, fuck that noise, and tells him to get out, and his advances aren't working, and she's seen them all before. So he asks what advances do work, and again, flustered.
Oh.
So she starts describing the person that she's looking for. And they move into the song.
Yeah, Sky asks her, like, how do you know when the right man will come along? And she starts to sing the song I'll Know, which was the first song I really recognized from this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then it turns into a duet. Like, it starts with her describing how she'll know, like, it'll just feel right. And she gets a good chunk of song, and then, surprise, it's a duet. Marlon Brando, Sky Masterson joins in, and he can kind of sing.
This was his first, and I'm pretty sure only, singing role. And we'll talk about later what they had to do to get the songs together. But he says that he's going to leave his love to chance and chemistry.
Oh, thank you for saying chemistry, because it comes back later.
Yeah, it does.
The end of the song, he lays a big ol' kiss on her.
She starts to struggle, but then sort of melts into
Fully leans into it.
And he walks to the door, and she sort of slowly follows him, and he thinks another kiss is going to happen, like he fully reaches out, and then she just fully slaps him across the... Oh man, full slap across the face. And then he just leaves with a witty little one-liner about offering the other cheek.
Yeah, there were a couple moments in this scene where he surprised her by actually knowing a lot of Bible quotes. There's one point where he corrects her. He's like, you think it's this, but it's actually from Isaiah. And his excuse is that he's spent a lot of time in hotel rooms and the only book that's consistently there is the Bible. But he leaves saying, like, now he has to return, and he quotes that Bible quote about turning the other cheek.
Offering the other cheek.
Yeah, offering the other cheek. Cut to the Hot Box, which is a burlesque music venue.
I'll go with burlesque. I wasn't quite sure either. It's like a variety show sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah, Adelaide has like a resident act there. But first we see Nathan is on the phone we don't know this yet, but he's in Adelaide's dressing room. He's on the phone with the garage owner saying that he's good, he's bet Sky, there's no way he can lose, he'll have his $1,000. We cut to Adelaide's performance with her alley kitten.
Weirdest stage show.
First, two things. This was not in the high school production that I saw, and this is not in the actual full production. This song replaced Bushel and a Peck. But this is instead called Pet Me, Papa, and everyone is dressed like a cat.
So yeah, I'm not really going to talk much about this song. It's very silly, and it reminds me a little bit of the background singing that they had in Some Like It Hot, where it's just like women yelling on pitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's part burlesque, part variety show, part like showgirls.
Maybe like a Follies vibe?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the dressing room. The song is not important. Nathan Detroit is trying to convince Joey to let him use the garage. Joey's not really having it, and the show ends, and so he quickly hangs up and grabs a book, any book, and then just sits down and pretends that he's been reading the whole time.
Adelaide comes into the dressing room, and she's like, oh, you're reading my book. And he's like, oh, yes, I was absolutely reading this book this entire time.
100%.
It's an early psychology book that her doctor suggested she read. Nathan's got this great line. It's like, how do you know you've got psychology? She's like, everyone's got psychology.
It tells you why girls do the things that girls do. And so he starts getting interested in flipping through. He's like, does it tell you what kind of girl will go for a guy?
Yeah. Well, he's asking about Sky. He wants to make sure he'll lose his bet. Adelaide tells Nathan that she's getting a raise next week, and that means they'll have enough money to get married. And he gives her the thing he's given her this whole time where he's like, yeah, we'll get married sooner or later. She says 14 years is too long to be sooner.
And she says that they have to go ahead and get married because she has told her mother that they were married and then had a son.
12 years ago.
12 years ago. And then had a son and then had 4 more kids. Jesus fucking
Fully
Christ.
been lying to her mother. And she's like, we're ready to get married. All we need is the license and the blood test. Side note, I don't know what blood test she's referring to.
I think back then you had to. I don't know. I've never been married.
That's fair. I shouldn't ask you. That's a bit of dramaturgy work I did not do. But
nope.
He's like, blood test? She goes, it's okay. You've got blood.
Adelaide has the best lines. I stand by my choice as far as my favorite character. So then Lorraine, my hero, walks in.
Lorraine is another showgirl.
She just sort of walks in and Adelaide is sitting on Nathan's lap. And Adelaide is like, it is customary for someone to knock if you come into a room with someone who's engaged. And she's like, as far as I'm concerned, you're here alone. And goes and gets the earrings. And then she yells at Nathan because her date has canceled on her because Nathan's crap game is playing. And she leaves and knocks on the door as she leaves. It was very funny.
And Adelaide is naturally very upset because she had believed Nathan's lies. She kicks him out.
Starts sneezing.
Yes, there's been a gimmick this whole scene that this has to do with a psychology thing, but that Adelaide just constantly feels like she has a cold for the last 14 years. And she kicks Nathan out, sneezing all the while, and she sings, if you know a song from Guys and Dolls, it's probably this one, which is Adelaide's Lament. First time I heard this song was on a Barbra Streisand CD.
That's phenomenal. So she sings Adelaide's Lament, and the whole thing is about her cold is from psychosomatic stress over not being married.
Yeah.
Wild. So, cut to Sky.
Following Sarah and the Mission Band through the streets of New York. They stop on a corner, he joins in the singing, and she notices, and she goes to accost him, and he kind of silently taps his other cheek to
Offers her
tempt
the other
her.
cheek.
And she goes, and she gets flustered, and she walks away, and he follows.
Enter mopey Nathan Detroit. Benny and Nicely tell him his bet is as good as one because they just saw Sarah give Sky the brush off and he should cheer up, but Nathan is still sad. Benny asks him, how could you be so foolish as to fall in love with your own fiancé?
The lines.
So
We're going to
funny.
get one of my favorite moments in just a sec. They start the song Guys and Dolls. This has some of my favorite wordplay in this. All right. The beginning of this song has a couple repeating themes where one of them goes like, what's playing at the Roxy? I'll tell you what's playing at the Roxy. A picture about a Minnesota man so in love with a Mississippi girl that he sacrifices everything and moves all the way to Biloxi. The theme of you know what's happening all over? Men doing falling over
crazy
for women.
things.
Yeah. And my favorite moment of this song is we've had 3 of those moments. And then suddenly we have a full fourth wall break.
It was so good.
I've never seen this movie before. I wasn't expecting it. Nicely, Benny and Nathan look directly into camera and they go, what's happening all over? I'll tell you what's happening all over. Points to the viewer and goes, guys sitting at home by a television set that used to be something of a rover. I was unprepared.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. So they finish the song. We cut back to Sarah back at the mission. Surprise, her boss is there.
General Cartwright.
And she tells Sarah that they'll have to close down the mission because they just don't have enough sinners. And we see Sky eavesdropping in the back room.
Wait. First, before Cartwright tells them that they're shutting down the branch, she's telling Sarah that she's disappointed that the branch was left unattended, the door was open, in such an unsavory neighborhood. And Sarah goes, you've seen our records. We can't even get anyone in here to rob the place. Cut to, surprise, Sky is inside the mission, hiding behind
Lurking.
a door. Cartwright tells him that headquarters is shutting down the branch. Cartwright says, Sarah Brown, if you can't attract sinners, nobody can. And we see Sky fucking smugly nodding and laughing
Just
behind the
damn
door.
right. So he comes in and he introduces himself as a former sinner and tells the boss that she can't close the mission down and asks General Cartwright to give Sarah 36 hours to prove herself because that's when the big Thursday night midnight meeting is.
Yeah.
And Sky pulls out the quote that he had written his IOU on the day before and really only lets Sarah see the back end so that General Cartwright doesn't know that this is because of a bet. And so he sort of flashes it at Sarah, and Sarah eventually tells her boss that she can guarantee at least 12 sinners. So basically she's agreed to go to dinner with him.
The general was going to leave, and Sky gets the general to stay until tomorrow night's midnight meeting. Cut back to Minnie's diner.
Gangsters!
Gamblers!
Gamblers!
We get a gangster in this. So there's a huge crowd of gamblers is there, and Benny is giving anyone that's going to attend the crap game, they should wear a red carnation so that they know where they're in the right place. Nathan shows up. He doesn't have the money yet, but he sent nicely to go wait for Sky because, surely, Sky's supposed to go to Havana tonight.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to get Sarah to go with him. Nathan says hello to everyone, and Harry the horse, Grace, introduces Nathan to the mobster Big Julie, who's in from Chicago, who's drinking milk out of a wine glass.
He then proceeds to chug a glass of milk. It was
it milk
insane.
or was it a milkshake? One of them called it a milkshake, but I'm pretty sure
I think it's
milk.
just milk, and then Nathan sort of teases him and makes a comment calling it a milkshake, and Harry the horse pulls him aside and is just like, listen, he is not one to be made fun of.
Don't fuck with the Chicago gangsters.
Don't fuck with this guy. Nathan goes back and apologizes and sort of pats him on the chest and feels that he has a gun.
This is our one gangster in this movie, is Big Julie.
One gangster.
Suddenly, surprise, Brannigan, pesky police chief Brannigan is there, and he goes, well, what do we have here? And he goes down the line. He's like, I recognize this person and this person. He calls out all the gamblers. One guy's named Liver Lips Louie, which I hated.
Poor man.
And he meets Big Julie. He's like, I don't recognize your face. And he asks about their carnations. He's like, what's going on here? Why are y'all wearing red carnations? This is kind of weird. And Nathan goes, they're also all wearing pants. Why are you being weird?
At this moment, Adelaide also walks in with a friend and sort of turns up
Lorraine.
her nose and ignores Nathan. It is Lorraine. And ignores Nathan and goes and sits down. And he's like, well, now everyone who hates me is here.
Yeah, and Brannigan isn't letting up. He's really poking around, being like, what's going on here? Something fishy. And Benny gets a brilliant idea and says, there's nothing weird. We're all here for Nathan's bachelor party. He's getting married. And Adelaide's like, no one told me. Hooray!
I know, she's just thrilled. So she's like, let's get married tomorrow. And he's like, let's not be hasty. You said something about a blood test. And Lieutenant Brannigan is like, you can elope in Maryland.
It's legal to elope at your age.
So Harry the horse says, this is great, I'll loan you my getaway car, or station wagon, and eventually he agrees, and he sings the song Adelaide, which was an addition for this movie so that we could hear Frank Sinatra sing.
I'm not mad about it.
No, he was great. It was a great song. He sang it so well.
The main riff is that Adelaide is taking a chance on me, which doesn't make any sense plot-wise, but was nice to hear.
Yeah. So Brannigan congratulates him and leaves, and Adelaide leaves to get stuff ready.
Because they're going to leave after the show tomorrow night. Suddenly, Nicely's here, and he is very sweaty.
And so anxious, and tries to tell him something, but Nathan keeps talking over him, and they hear the mission band, and so Nathan goes to the window and sees that Sarah isn't there, and faints.
Yeah, which means Sky succeeded and fully faints. Cut to Cuba! I loved this.
So, okay, really fast, the guitar player in the background that sings sort of the Cuba song,
The Cuba refrain.
has the best voice in this movie, over Frank Sinatra. I think his voice was incredible.
I agree. We are in Cuba at a
Church?
a courtyard in front of a church. There's a fountain and it's super romantic. There's a bunch of couples there and Sarah is reading her guidebook.
And talking about facts.
Yeah, she's like, these cobblestones are 4 centuries old. And Sky's like, fascinating.
And he's trying to, like, draw her attention to, it's like, does it say anything about moonlight? What about the music? And she's just, like, unswayed. So they go to the restaurant.
Cut to the restaurant, the cafe. That same music is playing. A waiter comes over. Marlon Brando speaks Spanish. And he asks Sarah what she wants to drink. And she's like, you mean alcohol? I'm just going to have a glass of milk. And he goes, well, don't make a spectacle of yourself.
So he orders 2 dulce de leches and tells her that it's a special kind of milk. They only serve it at night. It has to do with the heat. They put a preservative in it. She's like, what's the preservative? And he's like, Bacardi. She's like, doesn't that have alcohol in it?
This milkshake, essentially,
Alcoholic milkshake.
arrives in a coconut. She takes 1 sip, loves it so much that she chugs it.
And then
Takes
takes
his.
his. And he orders 2 more.
Yeah.
She's like, the Bacardi flavoring really makes a difference.
But it's funny when she takes his milkshake, his dulce de leche, she makes a very clear point that they don't share straws.
It was very funny. So cooties. But
Yeah.
they also have a conversation about, she asks if he thinks that she's a prude for not wanting to go to Havana with a man she had never met, and
Very fair point.
which is totally fair. And he also concedes that point. He's like, no, I guess not. Like, that's valid. Cut to inside the restaurant. She is very drunk. There are many coconuts in front of them.
So many coconuts.
And she says that she's failed him, and she wants to know what life is like.
Yeah, like, what's it like to live without inhibitions?
And he's like, no one lives like that. That's not how anything works. And she says she wants to help him, and, how can he be expected not to sin when there's always temptation, and she'll stay with him day and night and day. And then she kisses him.
Yeah! And then she's immediately embarrassed.
Yes, so she pulls back and asks him to say something, and he buttons, because she had her shirt kind of unbuttoned, and so he buttons up her shirt and says, I should get you something to eat, which I appreciated. Cut to dinner!
Different place. I thought she was sober. She is not.
No, she's not sober, but she is eating. And
Eating.
so it's not as, like, on a empty stomach drunk.
Yes. But there is a great band at this restaurant.
Yeah, it's like a salsa version of that Cuba theme.
And we see the singer, and we have a couple, like, stunning dancers. And Sarah sees men in this restaurant ogling the dancers. And then she sees Sky looking at one of the dancers, and she kind of, like, taps him to get his attention back on her.
Then we have this great dancing. It's super fun. And Sarah's sort of dancing along in her seat.
In her
She's
chair.
having a great time. I
Yes.
loved this for her. And so the woman in red that Sky had noticed before sort of dances by and then flirts with him, but Sarah stops her. And then while Sarah's distracted, the woman gets Sky to dance with her. Now this is what you were talking about as well with the whole cigarette in the mouth thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
she basically
another
takes
moment
his
of
cigarette out of his mouth and puts it directly into hers without flipping it around.
I hated that was a thing.
Is that your gripe?
Honestly, yes.
Cool.
But yeah, Sarah, she sees Sky dancing, and she gets up and she finds the girl in red's dress's dance partner. She dances with him. It's a dance-off.
Then she just goes and pushes the woman away from Sky and grabs his hands and puts him on her hips and starts dancing with him. And then a fight happens. We haven't had a fight in so long. I'm so pleased.
Again, having never seen... just imagine seeing this movie for the first time.
I know.
This dance evolves. The woman in red tries to get Sky back, and then her dance partner tries to get Sky to get away from her. And then there's just punching, and it's a brawl.
Throwing chairs. This is one of my favorite fights in a movie, and it's weird because it's not technically, like, accurate, but it's so fun to watch, and it's so over the top, and it feels like sort of a classic brawl that's fake. And, like, Sarah punches a woman and she, like, falls backward onto a stool. The stool flies backward and then she scoots backwards onto a stage. Like, it was wild. It's so much fun. I would love to choreograph this scene.
Sky is hit with, like, an upright base, bopped on the head with
Sarah
it.
throws a chair at a dude and punches out that woman in red.
And suddenly, it's not just Sarah and Sky against the world. Like, everyone in this bar is fighting everyone. And I think they must have just done this in like one take because they fully destroy this bar. Very akin to Kate destroys a tavern.
Yes, or Jesus destroys a temple.
We're sensing a theme here. But the police are here and Sky escapes with Sarah thrown over his shoulder.
Cut to the church that they started at. Sarah has dunked her head in the fountain to try and sober up a bit.
She's got her head underwater as the church bells chime at like midnight or whatever it is. And she comes up for air and she goes, "Oh, my head is spinning. I thought I heard church bells." And Sky's like, "You did hear church bells, you dummy."
You did. She's in such a happy mood though. Like, this is the perfect level of drunk where you're just like, this is my flowers, more flowers drunk. And it's just so joyous. Where you're just like excited by everything.
This is the song If I Were a Bell that she starts to sing. I mean, I have sang this song for many a voice lesson, never knew you could do it drunk.
Yeah, it changes it, right? It makes a lot more sense.
I loved it.
So funny. The physical comedy in this song was at 100%. Just her drunkenly stumbling around and Sky catching her as she almost falls like 8 times. So the whole song is about how she's super into him and she's feeling super giddy. And he's obviously kind of exasperated but very charmed by her. And at the end, he kisses her, and she kisses him back, but then he stops it, saying they have to catch their plane.
And she's like, "I don't want to go back to New York."
She says that she knows what she wants, but he says that he doesn't know what he wants, that things have changed, and he doesn't know what he's feeling.
He's catching feelings.
And he thinks that she would regret it in the morning, and that the night makes things different. He lives in the night, and he thinks that when the sun comes up, she will regret it. And he ends by telling her that he took her here because it was a bet. Like, he tells her that. Clean. And she surprises him by saying, "That makes total sense, and you are a complete chump." And then walks off arm in arm in him. And this look on his face after she says that and they walk off, of just like wonder and delight at her absurdity, was just so lovely.
Did you write down the chemistry line? Because it comes back in This Is the Moment.
She sings about, like, she feels chemistry, and he's like, chemistry? He's just like, yeah, chemistry.
Yeah, it was the way she said it, where there's something about chemistry. He goes, chemistry? She goes, yeah, chemistry! Like, super excited. I loved it. Suddenly, we're back in New York. They flew back from Cuba.
It's almost dawn. And he walks her back to the mission holding her hand, and it's very cute and sweet, and like it feels like right after you've had a really good date and the guy's walking you home, and you're just like, I don't really know what to say, but I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, and he makes a point, he has like a kind of vulnerable moment where he's like, this is my favorite time. This is the only time of day where you can hear footsteps on Broadway, which I guess is saying like normally it's really noisy, but it's actually
cacophonous.
Yeah.
And so they stall at the door. She hums the song from Havana, and he tells her that the song has lyrics and it's about her, and he sings Your Eyes. Basically, it's just that she's in love with him, and she counters and sings the song back to him, saying that he's in love with her too, and then they kiss. It was a very nice kiss. It was a bit of a 50s kiss, but it was a nice kiss.
They make out in front of the mission as the band members come around the corner, and they're like, oh, hey, Sky. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Sky, we took your advice. We have been out all night on a crusade against the devil.
I didn't think that it was Sky's advice. I thought that it was Sarah's advice.
It's one of them.
One of their advices. Anyway, suddenly, police sirens. And nicely wakes up from like across the street or something and runs into the mission to yell that the cops are coming. And it's like that scene from Ratatouille. Rats are scattering everywhere.
So many gamblers come running out of this building.
And they just flood out
That's
of
a
there.
great way to put it. It's like when you lift up a log in the forest and all the bugs run everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Lieutenant Brannigan gets there, but everyone is gone, and he was like, they were tipped off, and I was like, yeah, by your sirens that you started 8 blocks ago, Lieutenant Brannigan. Was this supposed to be a sneaky mission? It's like, they were tipped off. I wonder what by. So he confronts Sarah and asks why the mission was left open and why no one was there, and then accuses Sky of being a decoy.
Sarah is understandably mad at Sky because she thinks he set her up, He's like, you're not going to believe me, but please believe me. I didn't have anything to do with this.
And she was like, there was more to the bet that you didn't tell me. And he was like, who do you think I am? Who do you think you are? And she says, I'm a daytime doll. And then she shuts the door on him and locks it.
And he's left outside, and he walks down the street.
Kicks a can.
There's like a street sweeper that goes by.
Yeah.
I don't know what street sweepers looks like in the 1950s, but you can't tell me that wasn't a Zamboni.
It was a Zamboni. It was 110% a Zamboni.
Okay, good. I'm glad you clocked that.
Oh, yeah. Cut to Adelaide performing.
At the Hot Box.
At the Hot Box. This is the song Take Back Your Mink. Again, it's an unnecessary song just to give this actress something to do.
But these ball gowns. It's like a striptease with ball gowns.
So Sky is at the club and he runs into Nicely and he's there to tell Adelaide that Nathan won't be able to elope with her tonight because apparently Big Julie is a sore loser and insists that the game goes on because he's lost $10,000 up to now. So the game goes on.
And you don't argue with a gangster.
No. So Sky wants to know where it is and Nicely says he'll take him as soon as he gives the message, and Sky says he'll give the message to Adelaide. And Nicely just has to take him as soon as possible. So then we get this really great scene between Sky and Adelaide.
Sky goes into Adelaide's dressing room. Adelaide thinks that Nathan's out there. She thinks he saw her perform. And Sky tries to lie for Nathan, but he picks a lie that Adelaide has heard before. And so she knows the truth immediately. And she's heartbroken. This poor woman has been through the ringer.
And she says she just wants a normal life, and Sky's like, then you should fall in love with someone else, because you know who Nathan is, and you've known it this entire time. This isn't the life that he's going to be able to give you. And it was just like a tough sentiment, but it also kind of made sense, where it's just like, this is who he is, and if he hasn't changed in the 14 years that you've been together, he's not going to change.
Yeah.
So you should either come to terms with that or move on.
And she's heartbroken, and Sky leaves.
Oh, and she says the line, just wait until you fall in love with someone you shouldn't. And he sort of has a face.
He's like, well, I have.
Yeah.
Cut to the mission. Uncle Arbind is there with Sarah, and he tells her, he's like, I don't think Sky had anything to do with the crap game. And Sarah says it doesn't matter whether she believes it or not. The mission was used for a sinful crap game. And all she could see as the gamblers ran out was that, like, Sky was one of them. And Arbind's like, I can tell you're in love with this dude.
In love with this guy.
And she goes, yeah, I'll get over it.
And then he's just like, why would you want to? And she's like, I'll get over it.
Surprise! Sky shows up. He goes, like, regardless of what's happened to us, like, you'll have your sinners by 12 o'clock tonight. I'm still good for my marker.
And she says, last night the mission was filled, so we'll call it even, and she leaves. And then Arvid goes over and says, if you fail on this bet, I'm going to tell everyone that you don't follow your markers.
He says, if you don't make that marker good, I'm going to buzz it all over town that you're a welcher. Like, Welch is fruit snacks. And a welcher is someone who swindles you by not repaying a debt or a wager.
Yes. So, Nicely leads Sky into the sewers.
Surprise! Secret sewer craps game. This is the cleanest sewer I have ever seen.
With rainbow pipes. Did you notice that in the background?
I did. I don't know what sewers you've been in recently. This is not what the New York City sewers look like.
That is not New York City sewers.
Yeah.
That shit is disgusting.
We get this incredible dance sequence. It's called the Crap Shooters Ballet. It's to the instrumental of Luck Be a Lady. And it's just dancing gamblers. I don't understand this game, but it's like men in suspenders and tights just dancing around.
It's big West Side Story vibes.
Oh, yeah.
It was so nice to see this story being played just through physicality. These male dancers were incredible. Some of the shit that they had them do was incredibly physically tough and difficult and required a lot of skill.
Acrobatics.
Yeah. They went into a handstand and then slowly lowered themselves down. It was just crazy town. But it was an amazing dance. Highly recommend people watch it.
Big Julie is there and he wants to keep playing. He's now out of cash.
He's down $25,000.
And now he wants to play on credit, and everyone turns away. They're like, no fucking way.
And Nathan says, everyone's tired, and he's like, well, then I'll just play you.
I'm tired, Grandpa. 'Tis too bad.
Wow, deep cut holes reference. I love it. Thank you so much. I haven't thought about that movie in at least 6 months. We should watch that the next time we do a movie.
Yes.
So he says that he's going to play with his own dice, which are apparently have no dots on them. And he's like, I remember where the numbers are. Like, what?
Musical theater logic.
Wild. And then, of course, Harry the horse the whole time is just like, don't make this guy mad. Play him.
Yeah, if there's a lesson you take away from this film, it's don't argue with gangsters.
Or just, like, trick them so you can punch them and take their gun. We're almost there.
Spoilers!
Spoilers! So, Big Julie ends up cleaning out Nathan Detroit, and Nathan eventually ends up confronting Big Julie, saying, you know, I agreed to get married for this game, I took all the risk for this game, and I get nothing out of it. I want you to play me, but we're gonna play with my dice. Mm-hmm. Enter Sky.
Sky shows up looking like an action hero out of one of the tunnels, and he tries to talk with Big Julie, but Big Julie keeps talking over him. And I kind of lost the plot of this argument, but suddenly Sky just slugs Big Julie, and he takes his gun.
So basically, Big Julie keeps trying to get Sky to, like, play. He was like, fresh meat, etc. And and Sky's like, no, I'm just here to talk. And he's like, no, we're only here to play. And so Sky is like, okay, you want to make a bet? Let's bet. Am I right-handed or left-handed? And he's like, how should I know that? And he was like, I'll give you a hint. And then punches him in the face and takes his gun.
By doing so, he essentially frees all the other gamblers who are just, like, kind of being held hostage by Big Julie.
So Sky tries to convince everyone to go with him to the mission, and no one will take him up on it. He's like, it's one night, I would consider it a personal favor to myself. And so Nathan pulls Sky aside and says, you know, I don't have the 1,000 to pay you, I'm sorry. And Sky's like, thank you for reminding me, and gives Nathan $1,000, saying he did not take Sarah.
He lies that he didn't win the bet.
You know, like a liar.
And Nathan's like, hey, now I have cash. I'm going to play Big Julie, but we're going to use my dice. And Harry the horse pipes up and says, Big Julie can't play without cheating because he cannot make a pass to save his soul. And you see a light bulb go off of Sky's head. And he gets a big idea. And Sky tells everyone that we're all going to do a big bet. I'm going to roll the dice, one roll only, and if I lose, I give everyone here $1,000. If I win, you all have to attend a prayer meeting at the mission tonight. And everyone agrees, signs their little IOUs that say that. Unclear, I don't know anything about dice games.
That was going to be my homework, because I looked up how to play craps, and I could not figure it out, so I'm going to outsource.
I just wanted to know, I was like, what denotes winning and losing? Is it like, I'm assuming it's like you get high enough of a number.
It's not clear. 2 and 3 and 12 are losing.
What?
Yeah, right? It makes no sense, because the most common rule is 7, but apparently that's a winning number. I don't know.
We're gonna get a lot of dice hate.
Whatever. Fight me.
What are you gonna do, throw your dice at me?
So, Sky starts singing Luck Be a Lady. It's the song that you can tell the most that they just spliced together several versions of him singing to make the best possible option that they could, which is what happened for all of his songs. There's one particular moment he was like, they call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. And it's just like, the doubt is so obvious.
I just took the biggest sip. Oh, no.
I'm so sorry I did that right while you were drinking. It was just so funny, because I remember growing up watching that and being like, wow, that's a really interesting, like, emphasis on doubt. And then I watched it again now knowing that they had spliced together, and I'm just like, that's why.
But the song ends in this big dramatic roll, and we don't know the result, but we cut to the next scene, and we're in Minnie's diner. I don't know why, because this took place in the sewers, but they're in Minnie's diner, and it's Big Julie coming down from upstairs. He goes, I don't want to go. I'm going to lose my reputation in Chicago if anyone sees me going to a prayer meeting. So Sky won. Sky won.
And Adelaide purposefully sets it up so that she accidentally bumps into Nathan, and it's just like, oh, we can act civilized and don't act like a slob.
And Nathan comes after her, and he pines after her.
And she tries to keep it together, but then she sneezes and then immediately bursts into tears.
Oh, Nathan.
Nathan. And so he says that they could elope right now, and she's into this idea, but then Nicely and Benny come out and say, time to go.
Tapping on the
And
lot.
he's like, you're not going to believe me, but I swear it's the truth. I have to go to a prayer meeting. And she's like, that is the biggest lie you have ever told me. And so they sing the song Sue Me.
It's a fun pitter-patter song. Adelaide has the faster melody, and Frank Sinatra.
When I think
Nathan,
it's a time gone by.
has the slower
crooning
chorus.
But basically it's just, she feels like she's wasted her life, and he's like, sue me, I love you, I'll do anything, I just have to go right now. And it sort of ends with a breakup.
We cut to the mission. No one's there except the missionaries. It's past midnight. Sarah looks distressed, and Cartwright is like, what kind of sinners are these? Suddenly, gamblers stumble in, but they don't look happy to be there. Just a bunch of grumpy gamblers.
And Sky goes in and is like, everyone sit down. And Sky goes to her and asks her to mark it on the thing that he is paid in full. He says he has to leave and tells Nathan that he's in charge and to give back the markers when they're paid, and he will personally deal with any troublemakers. And then he leaves. And Sarah's kind of like watching him go.
General Cartwright starts the meeting, and she asks for anyone to start confessing their sins. A bunch of gangsters do it kind of half-heartedly. Big Julie has something snarky to say, and then nicely stands up and is very genuine, like talks about this dream that he had.
It's the song Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat, and it's very fun. It's such a fun song, but it is pointless.
But before the song starts, Brannigan storms in.
Right.
He's about to yell at Nathan, being like, I can't believe you're hosting another crap game here. Nathan's like, shut up, we're doing a prayer meeting.
And so they sing, and then at the end, Lieutenant Brannigan says that he's going to testify that they ran a crap game in the mission, and the boss lady, Cartwright, is appalled. And Lieutenant Brannigan asks Sarah to confirm that all of these men were the ones that she saw running out, and she says she's never seen them before in her life. And Big Julie's like, there's a good broad.
The fact that you didn't play Big Julie is an opportunity the world has been robbed of.
Truly, I agree. Arvide asks Lieutenant Brannigan to leave so they can finish their meeting, and he leaves, a little bit dazed about what just happened. So Nathan thanks Sarah and tells Cartwright that he wants to confess that they did shoot craps there last night and that he apologizes. And he tells Sarah that Sky said that he had lost the bet.
Now, he's apologizing to Sarah for, even betting against Sky, that he wouldn't take her to Havana. He's like, that wasn't fair to you. And she goes, what are you talking about? That's not what happened. Cartwright leads the gamblers in a hymn, and Sarah leaves to find Sky. Quick side note, have you ever seen the clip of the Guys and Dolls revival from, the mid-2000s? Titus Burgess plays Nicely. He eats this song up.
I want to watch that so bad. We'll see if we can find that and put that in the notes as well, because
I will
goddamn.
1,000%. That's a great number. They did it at the Tony Awards.
God, that's such a good song.
And that was the year that they had a lot of technical issues.
Oh no.
Oh my god. They had a major mic problems. So he starts the song and you can't hear him. But you hear over the audio a stagehand being like, should I go? Should I go? I'm going. And a stagehand in all black runs out on stage with a microphone, hands it to Titus Burgess, and runs back off stage.
Hero!
He does the rest of the song, and this was the first 10 seconds, does the rest of the song holding a microphone.
Fantastic.
And there's jumping up on chairs. Oh my god. Sorry, that's such a core memory.
We'll see if we can find it.
I will absolutely find it. Anyway,
right. Cut to 2 wedding cakes.
Yeah, we're back at Minnie's. 2 wedding cakes are carried out of the diner, and these wedding cakes are set down on a decorated table surrounded by mission people in the middle of Times
Square. Can you imagine?
No, I simply refuse to.
I love how Arvide is doing the marriage ceremony, and he was like, we all know that traffic is really bad at this time of day, so we're going to go through this super fast.
So, through the doors of a random store, first come all the gamblers in procession, followed by all of Adelaide's hotbox girls.
And Adelaide comes out in a gray dress. I don't know why it's not
white.
It's
a wedding dress.
It's gray, though. And then Sarah comes out in her mission red suit.
Justice for Sarah.
Sarah should have had a wedding dress.
Yeah, if she wanted a wedding dress, she should have had one.
And then they get married.
Yeah, it's a double wedding. Is that Nicely in mission clothes at the wedding?
Yes, Nicely has joined the mission.
That's what I thought. it's a wedding. They say I do, and everyone cheers and crowds them, and they get into a cop car that's decorated for the wedding. Yep. They toss the bouquets. I think one of the mission girls catches Adelaide's or Sarah's bouquet and like looks shyly at nicely.
Yeah.
Big Julie catches the other bouquet and just yeets it into the crowd.
And that's the end. Anna, what did you think of this movie?
I loved this.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. This is one of my core movies. This is one of the ones that I grew up with. It was like this and My Fair Lady and South Pacific and Singin' in the Rain, and like these are the movies that like were in my brain. Yeah, no, I love this movie. I think it's hilarious. I think Marlon Brando is so perfect as Sky, even though he can't sing. I think that Frank Sinatra did a great job as Nathan. I'm glad they added more songs for him to sing, because in the original he only sings Sue Me. And I thought the two lead women were great. I had no person that I was just like, I don't feel like you're giving your all to this.
I think I laughed more in this movie than I had in any of the movies we've previously done.
Yeah, it was like this and Some Like It Hot were by far like full belly laughs.
Like the script was good and like the delivery was good. Like they understood the humor, they understood the world, and like
they
not
knew
an
what movie they were
was
in.
Lost. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
All right, dramaturgy report. I'm gonna make a song.
No.
This was directed by Joseph Leo Mankiewicz. He was an American film director, screenwriter, and producer. He had a very long career. Yeah. He set a cool record by winning a pair of Writing and Directing Academy Awards 2 years in a row. The first one was for A Letter to Three Wives in 1949, and the next year he won the exact same awards for All About Eve. He also produced more than 20 films, including Philadelphia Story, Woman of the Year, which is where he introduced Katharine Hepburn to Spencer Tracy.
Yeah.
The cinematographer is someone we've talked about before. Henry Stradling was the cinematographer for this film. More than 130 films to his credits. We've seen him previously on My Fair Lady, but he also did Streetcar Named Desire, Gypsy, Funny Girl, and Hello, Dolly.
The screenplay was also written by the director, so I'm just gonna leave that with you because there wasn't anything specific about him writing this. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about how the original musical was written. It was written by Joe Swirling and Abe Burrows. Now, this was an adaptation of a couple of short stories by Damon Runyon. They were written between the 1920s and 30s, and they had gangsters and gamblers and other New York underworld people. Gangsters. So they had this idea to create this musical, and so the composer and lyricist Frank Lesser was hired along with Joe Swirling, who was going to write the book. Now, whenever they got that first draft, it was deemed unusable, and so they called Abe Burrows to rewrite it. Now, Joe Swirling, the original writer, is famous for writing It's a Wonderful Life and also worked on Gone with the Wind. And so it's like he's done some pretty big stuff, but Abe Burrows, who was the guy that they hired to rewrite it, he was famous for sort of doctoring scripts. So scripts that were considered not really usable, he would come in and fix them. And so it was like a thing that they would always say, it's like, get me Abe Burrows, was sort of shorthand for like, we have a script that needs repair. So he worked on Make-A-Wish, Guys and Dolls, How to Succeed, Can, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like, he worked on a lot of things. Now, he crafted the role of Nathan Detroit around the actor that they ended up using in the original Broadway production, Sam Levine, who signed on to the project before anything was ever written. And Sam Levine was not a singer. In fact, a historian was quoted as saying, musically, Sam Levine may have been tone deaf, but he inhabited Frank Lesser's world as a character rather than a caricature. The character of Adelaide was also created specifically to fit Vivian Blaine. She also played the same character in the movie. We had a couple of people who crossed over from the stage.
I was going to say, her especially, her acting felt very big.
Yes.
But it's a big character, so I didn't mind it. Her specifically, there was a lot of just, I wasn't sure if she wasn't quite sure of her eye line, but like direct into camera or like just off of camera enough that it could kind of be believably into camera.
Yeah. Now, for Frank Lesser, who wrote the music, he spent most of his years as a lyricist specifically for movie musicals, but he was hired as the composer and lyricist for this. And in fact, because the guy that they hired to write the book originally, they didn't like it, they had all of these songs, but they didn't really have a book. And so this is one of the few moments in which the book was written to fit in the songs that had already been written. So it's like the setup of a jukebox musical, but with original music, which was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Lesser was known for writing Baby It's Cold Outside.
Oh,
So that
shit!
yeah, that's him. He also did the musicals Most Happy Fella and How to Succeed. For the movie, it was requested that he write 3 new songs, and so he wrote Pet Me Papa, which was the cat song, A Woman in Love, which is the song that Sky and Sarah sing to each other in front of the mission after Cuba, and Adelaide, which was written specifically for Sinatra. Now, 5 songs in the stage musical were omitted, so that was A Bushel and a Peck, My Time of Day, which is sung by Sky. I think it's outside the church where he talks about my time of day as the dark time of day. And I've Never Been in Love Before, which I'm pretty sure was Sarah. More I Cannot Wish You, and then Marry the Man Today. Now, I'm sad that they cut out Marry the Man Today, and that is one of my gripes, but I'll get there. So, a little bit after a tryout in Philadelphia, they opened on Broadway on November 24th, 1950, and closed in 1953, so it's 1,200 performances. The play won a Tony for Best Musical and Best Choreography for Michael Kidd, and original cast members include Robert Alda, who's the father of Alan Alda, as Sky, Isabel Bigley as Sarah Brown, Sam Levine as Nathan, and Vivian Blaine as Adelaide, and Stubby K as Nicely Nicely, B.S. Pulley as Big Julie, and Johnny Silver as Benny, and they were also in the movie. So Adelaide, Nicely Nicely, Big Julie, and Benny South Street were all from the original Broadway production.
That tracks.
Now for actors and casting, for this movie, at first Gene Kelly was going to be Sky. That was like the big candidate, but MGM wouldn't loan Kelly out for this production because they really wanted Brando because he was the biggest box office draw in the world at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Even though MGM ended up distributing it, and so Gene Kelly was really upset by it. He was quoted as saying, "I was born to play Sky Masterson like Clark Gable was born to play Rhett Butler." And he didn't do it, so... Frank Sinatra really wanted the role of Sky Masterson as well, and so because of that, his relationship with Marlon Brando was super strained. Sinatra apparently would call Marlon Brando Mumbles and was quoted as saying, "When Mumbles is through rehearsing, I'll come out of my trailer." Like, it was brutal. Oof. They originally were looking at Betty Grable to play Adelaide, but they ended up casting Vivian Blaine. Marilyn Monroe also wanted to play Adelaide, but the director didn't want to work with her again because she was a little bit in All About Eve and they didn't have a good experience. He pretended apparently that he never got her phone messages. The reason why Betty Grable wasn't cast as Adelaide is because she canceled the meeting with the producer because her dog had broken its leg and she took it to the vet, and the producer was so miffed that he just didn't reschedule and dropped her from consideration.
Rude.
Yeah. Justice for Betty. Then for Sarah Brown, they wanted Grace Kelly, but she turned down the part, which would have been really interesting. They contacted a couple of other people, but the third choice was Jean Simmons, who was the woman who's in it. She had worked with Marlon Brando before in Desiree, and the director was sort of surprised by her voice, even though it was her first musical, and thought that it was very sweet, and she had really strong acting. He said that she was a fantastically talented and enormously underestimated girl. In terms of talent, Jean Simmons is so many heads and shoulders above most of her contemporaries, one wonders why she didn't become the great star she could have been.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
Awesome. Awards. This film won 2 Golden Globes, one for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, and one for Best Actress, which went to Jean Simmons. It was nominated for a couple Oscars, and we are still in the years where there are color and black and white categories, so this was nominated for art direction, cinematography, costume design, all the color categories, as well as scoring. Did not win. Reception. This opened on November 3rd, 1955 to mostly positive reviews. It has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was ranked as the #1 money-making film in 1956 because it came out like right at the end of 55. In 2004, the American Film Institute ranked the song Luck Be a Lady at number 42 on their list of 100 greatest film songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In terms of sequels and adaptations, 20th Century Fox acquired the film rights to the musical in early 2013 and was planning on a remake, but ownership changed in March 2019, where TriStar Pictures acquired the remake rights. No one has really been attached yet. We only have producers.
Now, do you know who was attached to the 2013 production that didn't go through?
I don't. I want to talk about what films TriStar has produced so we get a feeling, but before that,
Okay.
who was attached in 2013?
Sky was going to be Channing Tatum.
Oh, wow. Can Channing Tatum sing?
Unclear. And Nathan was going to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
You know what? I'm not mad about it. I don't know if either of them can sing.
I don't like the casting at all.
But anyway, it doesn't matter because TriStar Pictures now has the rights as of March 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you a feeling of like, it's kind of all over the place what TriStar has produced.
Uh-huh.
They did Hook in 91, Matilda in 96, Steel Magnolias in 89, Baby Driver in 2017,
Yeah.
and then my personal favorite, just to throw a little spice into the mix, Total Recall from 1990. I have no idea what this movie will be like. Moving on to singing. Do you have anything about dubbing?
Yes. So, Marlon Brando described his own voice as sounding like the mating call of a yak. So, they spent hours in the studio recording his numbers over and over again, and his songs were eventually patched together from all of these retakes for playback during shooting. The singing, obviously, the Broadway actors all had lovely voices. It's Frank Sinatra. He has an incredible voice. The only two people that really weren't singers were Sarah and Sky, and so that was Marlon's experience. And then with Sarah, I thought she did a pretty decent job considering that she wasn't a trained singer.
I was much more aware of Marlon Brando kind of like singing King Arthuring his way through it.
Sweet boy.
There was fantastic dancing in this film. Like, from the get-go.
So good.
This is not a visual medium. You just missed Grace doing a full body stretch. We didn't really have any dancing from our main characters except that scene in the Cuban restaurant. And that was more
Cuba's the only one.
drunken dancing on their part and not actually, I won't call, like, there was a lot more sophisticated and complicated choreography in other parts of the film. Like the gambling ballet.
The gambling ballet was the peak.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was lovely.
Yeah. Gripes?
So my gripe is about the ending. In the musical, Sarah leaves and runs into Adelaide, and they have the song called Marry the Man, and it's about marrying the man today and change his ways tomorrow. So basically, we know that the guys that we love have flaws, but we're going to marry him anyway and just work on them as they go. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. But it then sets the stage for the wedding, as opposed to this, that just cut that. And so it was just an abrupt wedding, and you have no clue how they get there, how Nathan made up with Adelaide, how Sky and Sarah found each other because he was leaving town. Yeah, and so it just felt super abrupt, whereas at least in the musical, there's this one bridge song that shows how the girls get there, and then there's a little bit of scene talking about how they get together and like what they're doing now. Like Sky apparently works with the mission at the end, and Nathan has stopped gambling and works as like a salesman, like a paper salesman or whatever. And so it's like a whole
character development
thing. It like explains how they get to the end, and they just cut that, and I get why they did it because it's a fucking long movie.
So long.
But it just made the ending seem super abrupt. So that was my big gripe. Is your gripe the cigarettes?
It is. It's made no sense. I didn't like it. I had so many moments of joy just for like the general dialogue. I thought the dialogue was fantastic. Yeah. The comedy was fantastic, and I laughed out loud so many times.
Oh, there was one moment we didn't talk about that's on my list of moment of joy, and it's in that final scene with all the gamblers in the mission, and like Nathan is like leading them in clapping, and then there's one moment where Cartwright is just like, never before have I seen so many horrible looking sinners, and then Nathan does a double clap and then stops himself. It was so funny. He's like, oh, we're all gonna clap? We're not clapping for this.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And then all of Sky and Sarah's scenes, their chemistry, you can tell that they worked together before because their chemistry
and they remained
was
friends
really great
for the rest of their lives. I don't have any fun facts.
That is A-okay. I have one. The scene where Sky and Nathan first meet, Nathan is eating a lot of cheesecake. Frank Sinatra is eating a lot of cheesecake. And apparently he wasn't using a spit bucket. He was just eating cheesecake. Because Frank Sinatra had been such a dick to Marlon Brando thus far, Marlon Brando kept fucking up the takes so that he had to keep eating cheesecake.
Marlon.
And he purposely flubbed it, and then eventually Frank Sinatra was like, I can't eat anymore, we have to stop. And then the next day they came back and shot it perfectly in one take.
That's so petty. I love it.
So, just a lot of petty behavior on
Well,
this set.
you got two divas, Frank Sinatra and Marlon Brando.
Really
was
big
like,
stars.
and his star was on the rise. He was 31.
And Frank
He was
Sinatra was
31.
on the fall.
Frank Sinatra
Yeah.
was 40. Whereas the women were like drama free.
Marlon Brando's just the bisexual icon we
Oh,
all deserve.
and on that note,
Do you have anything? Oh, we're going to see if we can find
Yes.
that video of Titus Burgess singing Sit Down, We're Rocking the Boat. I'm going to post the rules of crap, so if anyone can figure it out and then, like, summarize it for me, that would be great.
please don't send us angry emails. We've just never played it. Well, thank you all for being here. This has been 5678, a movie musical podcast. We are so grateful that you chose to tune in to us today on whatever podcast streaming platform you're listening to us on in your ear holes. We would greatly appreciate any reviews, any stars. It pushes us onto the pages of people that aren't our immediate friends and family. Let's swindle that algorithm.
You can follow us on all of the places. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yes, follow us there for teasers of upcoming episodes and fun dramaturgical facts about current episodes.
Yep. And if you would like to email us with any questions, concerns, or praise, our email is 5678, a movie musical podcast @gmail.com.
And that's all she wrote. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.